Well, I've had a extremely awful time, and I guess a bit earlier in the day I was feeling a bit more cocky about it, but yeah, I definitely am gonna explain, and I'll keep it to sort of shorter videos of varying lengths. I've had quite a misadventure. So I can't quite remember where I got, but a total psycho bitch moved in just across the way with the landing from me, and she and I shared, were the only ones with the steps going up, so we had a landing, and our doors were, just, you could fit maybe 3 people standing on that landing. And she just went cut snake all of a sudden. It was so bizarre. But there's more to it, and there's a bit of backstory. As I had told you, the owner, I'm not going to you anymore when bad things happen to me, because you don't do anything and you just blame me. Or, yeah, you just blame me. And it's just pointless going to you. There's no point. And I didn't know something would happen so atrocious, but yeah, so as I said to him, I'll call the police. Now, for me, there's no point in calling the police, but there's still part of me that thinks they're going to help, but they ignored my complaints. Lee had been abusing me for quite a long time, and they didn't take any action about it. And then they were interested in the previous assault because it seemed to relate to something else that they were interested in, but they didn't follow up with me. Such as, do you want to make a statement? But they gave me a file reference. I told them about this chick threatening me with violence. Didn't want to know about it. I told Liu I want to be transferred, and he responded by kicking me out. And I'm obviously skimming over all of complexity in the stuff. Like, I've been arrested again twice. One because of that chick, and I'm not entirely innocent, but I I kind of am, because no one else would help me, and I didn't attack her, but I did something else. But I'll explain that later. The context, I think, is completely exonerating. When no one will fucking help you with abuse in your home. It involved basically trying to putting my ring cam up in our shared public, foyer area, and her stealing it, and me chucking some stuff at or toward her car. Anyway, and then that was the night that I tried to kill myself again, and again I had that same problem where it was like, I'm going to drown myself, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, so I tried to drown myself again. It was a bit more successful than last time, but I was just waking up and I was just in hysterics, like, I've got to be up by 10 o'clock, I've got to be dead. And for the first time ever, I cut my wrists. I didn't ever think I could do that. And I didn't have the right materials. I made a noose. I didn't think I could do that either, but I was going to, and I was beside myself. Then a lot of police turned up, and it at first seemed to be some sort of welfare check and support. I got arrested and handcuffed and trespassed illegally. The police do not know what the fuck they're doing. She was quite a nice officer. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They do so much harm. Even the ones who don't mean to. The police as a whole do so much harm. How are you creating safer communities? By making people homeless and suicidal. They were very nice to me then. But I refused bail. I refused to sign my bail forms, which, as I understood, meant that they couldn't release you. I have since been corrected. What you sign is saying that you understand the conditions. It's bonkers when you understand them, but they're nonsensical. You know what they're trying to say, but they're not rational or based on anything empirical, and sometimes they're just downright unintelligible, like incoherent, impossible. But in this case, I signed them, and I was released on bail without spending the night. I didn't even see a judge. The judge just instantly was not particularly entranced by the new charge. Now, police had told me that wrongly, falsely, that I couldn't return for 2 years, and someone else would have to get my stuff. That is wrong. Under the Trespass Act, not only was I not trespassable again, so I was a lawful occupier, they told me that I couldn't come back and I'd have to get someone else to get my stuff. That is wrong. When someone is trespassed who has been living there, of course they're going to have a lot of stuff there, and they're going to need to be able to go back and collect it. If they've been trespassed, it's very unlikely that the person who trespassed them is going to be in, especially if they've done it illegally, it's very unlikely that they're going to have the disposition to treat the possessions carefully, and I've been through this shit at least 2 times before, with Professor Mitchell, then with Lauren. And not only does he have all my stuff that I was living with, he's also got, like, my computer, my everything. He's also got the keys to my storage units, so I couldn't even go to my storage unit that has my emergency kit, that I could have at least, you know, I didn't ever want to use it, but it's on the cards, and it was a survival kit basically, so I could sleep outside somewhere. And it got late, and it started to rain, so I got myself arrested. And there's a long story there. What I wanted was police to step up, because they found me homeless illegally again, and give me a night in this house. Not a very nice option, but what am I going to do? I'm just wearing the clothes that I was wearing. I didn't pack anything. I was cuffed immediately. They cuffed my bleeding wrists. They packed my bags. They put my shoes and socks on. And I had only a light jacket, which I bought out of money that I should have spent on food. Just because I don't have any winter stuff, because I can't get close to it here, I don't have enough money. So I bought a light woolen coat, but it was better than just the Iraqi thing that I had. But not enough for sleeping outside in the rain. I should have done it. I should have sat down in the rain. I've learned a bit more about hypothermia, and it's not about the temperature itself or the body temperature itself. It's about somehow the change in body temperature and how quickly it happens. I should have just lied down in the wet grass and woken up dead. It's funny, death can't be comprehended, so we often say wake up dead. We don't know. We can't imagine it's not my perceptive, perception, but the reason humans, there's a very good hypothesis, psychological hypothesis for it. There's a very real feeling that death disturbs humans so much is just because we can't imagine a situation in which we're not there. So we still think we're there. It's us, but we've died. Where are we? So anyway, I'll go into the details later, but I got myself arrested. And I was beaten up. And it was worse this time, and it was by a really big male cop. He would have been probably a foot taller than me. He would have been about 6'4". It's hard to see what kind of build under all their heavy vests and paraphernalia. But I would have, it kind of doesn't matter if he's wearing all that extra bulk and that weight and that. It doesn't matter if it's his own or whatever, but he wrenched my arm, told me I was resisting arrest because I couldn't follow his instructions because I was in so much pain. They know they're trained to subdue violent or uncooperative people, and so they do it on people who are not violent and uncooperative. They just use it to beat people up. So I've got a massive bruise on that wrist, and I'm going to have to, when I'm not half dead, take some photos, because no one in police would take photos of my injuries, including the self-inflicted ones. No one checked me out medically. No, they wouldn't give me a lawyer. They wouldn't give me my meds. I was assaulted. It was, of course, worse than when Helen Mullis did it, because she was female, something approaching the same size as me. She had the big loud Mackley there, but he was just sort of a sidekick. This guy, when you're assaulted, I've been put on the ground before. And you just get put on the ground, and you're not following, your brain cannot create memories fast enough and you certainly, and it can't be, time doesn't want to slow down for you to realise. I was just on the ground, and my face was being sort of grated across the concrete of the driveway. Not badly, and it's really hard to tell the difference between what's left after the skin came off and this terrible dermatitis that's just got out of control that I'm now trying to repair. I can only do a little bit of forensics, really, crime scene forensics on my body by looking where the bruises are to see where I what he did. But he just had me on the ground. I think I was in a kind of snail position. I don't know how I got up. I think he probably just yanked me up. He had a female sidekick who would be a pretty classic plain Jane, except for the chubbiness and the bad attitude, which I think is probably because the senior of the two was very tall and, conventionally pretty good looking, and he's trying to bring back that, that cop thing with the moustache and all that. I can't name those names. Who were those two who raped that woman? That kind of look. I've seen him around the station. He's not as good looking as I thought he was in the dark. But he's got a moustache, so men can grow facial hair and change the shape of their face and stuff. But he's a big man, and my weight at the moment is about 47 kilos. I don't know what it was a week ago. I'm 55 maybe. And I was just insulted and derided the entire way. I was stripped naked when I got there, and I was taken into the cell area naked. But I got sleep inside. Saw a judge in the morning. He had, as his regime was going to bail me, but I didn't apply for bail, and long story short, the law says that bail can be granted only if it's applied for. He couldn't grant it to me because I didn't apply for it, which meant that I went back to the cells and then to prison, which was it was basically the pinnacle of my hopes at that point. I thought prison would be a lot better than police cells. I don't know if New Zealand sees a distinction or uses a distinction between jail and prison. My understanding is that jail is for people who are charged but not convicted. So I feel like I was in jail at the Christchurch Women's Prison, and I was so relieved to get there because I had such a warm reception and I was told I'd get so much help. And I was treated abominably and completely illegally. And since I didn't have any timekeeping device, I did have a TV in my room, which was amazing. For the first 2 days I got there, I was in just a very basic cell, a bit like a police cell. And I have been so exhausted from being hounded, and that's verified and very common harassment and torture technique to deprive people of sleep. That's what police have been doing one way or another, and you and everybody else. Sleep. I can't rest. There's no rest for me. So I got there and I basically just passed out for 3 days. Wasn't passed out, but I needed sleep. And then I was moved into a different room because I started waking up and murmuring about food and water and meds and shower and stuff, which was a good sign to them, and they seemed to be very caring at that time. Moved into a better room, still like a police cell, but the beds are raised, and it's very much corrections and police, definitely. the same tastes of furnishings, and room design and that kind of stuff. And I recognised some of the furniture from High Care in Hamilton. I would say my experience was there was much more like being at Hamilton than being in police custody. And I wouldn't know how to compare police custody and corrections custody because they've got different purposes. But Hamilton is an evil place, and I was very badly treated, including abuse and torture. And because I couldn't tell the time the other way, and I find not being able to know what the time is extremely difficult, I would put on the national radio channel because they announce the time quite often. I was keeping records, and most of those records I would just have to write down something like, these TV programs are on these different channels. So I get a vague idea, even though I don't know what time things are. I still know Shortland Street's on at 7, but I'm not sure about a lot of other stuff, but it can all be verified later. Not verified, I mean, I discovered later. I took as many records as I could, because at least I was allowed paper and a pen modified for safe use. Basically they removed the shiv, which is the casing, so I had a tube with ink, pen, just a dispensing aperture, and I had it all pieces of flat A5 paper, and I had none of the promises that were given to me were met. I couldn't do any work on the case. I had a lot of trouble. there. And I haven't been keeping in touch with, I wouldn't go to the news for information, but I haven't been. I got my hands back in shadow. No one dealing with current affairs. I feel like the national radio is the Radio New Zealand. I think it's the best. really interesting to hear about Auckland prison torturing its male patients. And by torture, it doesn't matter if you intend to do it or not, or if it's just negligence. You're not allowed to torture. I was tortured. These men are tortured. But late this morning I got bound. And I'm gonna have to, there's a book called, there's quite a lot of books on mobbing, and there's a few books about how to survive it. And mobbing is sort of a different, it's either the same thing or very closely related to being attacked a person. Again, I have no time or interest in people who say these things don't exist. Of course they exist, for fuck's sake. Humans are animals. Human group aggression. Is that more palatable? Doesn't sound so tinfoil hat when you put it like that, does it? Yes, humans have group aggression. We form wolf packs. Wolf packs don't actually do that. Dogs do. Dog packs do. So I've been listening and finding out there have been a lot of dog attacks. They've been CCTV of dogs getting into packs together and stalking cats and killing them. Stalking them. Not behaviour that you'd expect from a dog, where you just go ruff, 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 ruff and go and get the thing. You stalk them. That is canine group aggression. Humans do it too. And the government it's usually a logical fallacy to say that if you're not with us, you're against us, or some version of that. If you're not taking action, you're complicit. It's usually a logical fallacy to say that. It's forcing a false dichotomy in which only two options are available, and that's not true. But in the case of the government, in every voter, if you tolerate this, you are doing this. I tried to kill myself in prison by starving myself to death. I lost, I think, 6 kilos. Again, that's nearly 10% again of my weight. Then I realised that I was capable of dehydrating myself to death. And I started doing that. I know I can do that. I know I have to do it. Because this is never going to end. Nothing I do matters. Because the goal is to get me. And these people have way ways, so many ways to break my plans into little pieces. I don't have hope. I don't have hope of having a life. I have dragged myself over fucking Christchurch today. I had a couple of cool conversations, and I've had some lovely interactions with people. I want to talk about those too. It's amazing who you get talking to find out those people in really similar situations. Not always the same, not always that they're targeted, it's just that they're mistreated. I'm not allowed to have a life. And please don't